Good morning, and thank you for joining us for this daily dose of encouragement. Things are a little crazy in Louisville right now, and so we appreciate your prayers and are praying ourselves for God's will to be accomplished in whatever way He sees fit, and that we would draw ourselves into submission to His will, appreciating that He knows what is best in the short term and in the long term. We are encouraging ourselves today by looking to the book of James. James has been referred to as the New Testament book of Proverbs because a lot of what you'll see in James will make passing reference to Proverbs. There's a lot of wisdom in James, and there's actually a section right about halfway through the book where he focuses on wisdom, and he talks about two different kinds of wisdom. Oftentimes when we think of wisdom, we exclusively think of good wisdom. But there are two types of wisdom, and those are two things that we want to consider today and make sure that we are choosing godly wisdom as opposed to worldly wisdom. So I want to encourage you, if you have a Bible, to look at James chapter 3, verses 13 through 18 with us. James chapter 3, verses 13 through 18. We're going to look at godly wisdom versus demonic wisdom or worldly wisdom. James chapter 3, verse 13 says, "Who among you is wise and understanding? Let him show by his good behavior his deeds in the gentleness of wisdom. But if you have bitter jealousy and selfish ambition in your heart, do not be arrogant, so lie against the truth. This wisdom is not that which comes down from above, but is earthly, natural, demonic. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there is disorder and every evil thing. But the wisdom from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, reasonable, full of mercy and good fruits, unwavering, without hypocrisy, and the seed whose fruit is righteousness is shown in peace by those who make peace." When things are devolving into a bit of pandemonium, we can look to a passage like this and we can differentiate those who are choosing godly wisdom and those who are choosing worldly wisdom. The very opening verse in this section of James asks a very reasonable question, one to which we should all answer in the affirmative. Who among you is wise and understanding? Well, hopefully the goal for all of us is to be wise and understanding. But he's logically appealing to people. He's rationally appealing to people. And he says that if you are choosing godly wisdom, your behavior and your actions, your deeds are going to be shown as good, as gentle. And so, if your deeds are not showing gentleness, if your deeds are not showing goodness, if your behavior is not in line with this, you have not chosen godly wisdom. You have not acted in a wise and understanding way, as verse 13 says. Rather, if you have chosen to stir the pot, if you have chosen violence, if you have chosen misrepresentation or lying, or the sort of thing that you have chosen is bitter jealousy. You have chosen selfish ambition in your heart. You have become arrogant. You have lied against the truth. And such wisdom is not from above. Such wisdom is not from God. Such wisdom is not in the name of any godly virtue. Such wisdom is not fruit of the Spirit. Rather, it is fruit of that which is earthly, that which is natural, that which is demonic. Because when there is disorder and when there is evil in the streets, it is not because of godly wisdom. It is not in pursuit of justice. It is not in pursuit of righteousness. It is a testimony to jealousy, to selfish ambition. Things that are harbored in the heart of man that are evil. In contrast to these sorts of things, we have a God of order. And those who are choosing godly wisdom are going to strive for order. Because the wisdom from above is pure. It is not tarnished by defilement. It is not tarnished by seeking out fleshly things. It is pure, as he himself is pure, and as we strive to make ourselves pure. It is peaceable. And another characteristic here that comes up is the idea of being reasonable. Peaceable and reasonable. If you are acting in a way where you are not being reasonable, where you are not being peaceable, where you are not being peaceful, where you're not being a peacemaker, where you're not striving for order, that's a problem. And if you are that sort of person, you are not striving after godly wisdom, you are striving after worldly wisdom. And worldly wisdom will bring destruction. Worldly wisdom will bring a yoke that is heavy and intense and will destroy you. Godly wisdom is pure, it's peaceable, it's reasonable, it's also gentle. The way that we should be responding to each other, the way that we should be responding to maybe failures in our society, needs to be in a gentle fashion. It's easy to get worked up, it's easy to get fiery, it's easy to get bellicose and belligerent, but we have to be careful about that because the anger of man does not accomplish the will of God. So be gentle and be full of mercy. Mercy is kind of the other side of the coin from grace. Grace is usually portrayed in sort of a positive way. Mercy is the withholding of punishment. So somebody who's full of mercy is very much like God. That's how he describes himself. It is to our advantage that we might overlook a brother's fault. It is to our advantage that we would be gentle and merciful towards such a one. And so that we would express good fruits, that we would be unwavering. Unwavering. This is one of the few times where you see this word in the Bible. There's a lot of other encouragements to be courageous and to be steadfast, to be immovable. But this is one of the few places where you have this word unwavering that is given. God requires of his people to be unwavering, to be steadfast in the face of adversity, to be resolute, to not be fearful, to be confident, to be courageous, to be faithful, and to be hopeful. So I want to encourage you to be unwavering. Don't stoke the fires. Be unwavering. Be committed to the Lord. And be without hypocrisy. If you're trying to take a stand for what is good, and you are giving it your all, then that is commendable. That's all you can do, is to give the best that you have towards what is right. But don't hold yourself to a different standard than anybody else. God alone has the single standard by which all people are to be judged, all of our good deeds, all of our bad deeds. And we will be shown for who we are. When we chose godly wisdom, God will celebrate that. But when we choose worldly wisdom, God will condemn that. The final verse here in James 3, verse 18, and the seed whose fruit is righteousness is sown in peace by those who make peace. You'll notice that in these few verses we've seen peace mentioned numerous times. Peace is a key component in the fruit of the Spirit, in the way that we walk, because blessed are the peacemakers. The fruit of the Spirit is love and joy and peace. You'll see peace mentioned quite a bit in connection to godliness and in connection to godly virtue and the characteristics that Christians are supposed to have. Be peaceable. Be a peacemaker. Strive to the very best of your ability to accomplish peace, and it is what God has for us. God has eternal peace, but only if we are sowing seeds of peace on this side of eternity. will we inherit that everlasting peace. So we encourage you today, choose godly wisdom. Do not choose worldly wisdom. There are plenty of people who are choosing worldly wisdom, and we see the chaos, and we see the dissolution, and we see the disorder that they are bringing. Choose godly wisdom. Choose God, and choose Jesus. So we encourage you this morning, don't be overwhelmed, be unwavering, be steadfast, be peaceable, be pure, be without hypocrisy, and humble yourselves, because that is the source of quarrels and contentions that we see among us. God bless you, and may you find comfort and safety and protection in the arms of Jesus. God bless you.